Hello, 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 and welcome back to the FIFA 2026 World Cup, a global showdown with the Hooligan Soccer Boys, the Hooligan, and myself, Gary Striker. It's been a long morning.
You gotta untie that tongue, my man. Jesus, that's terrible.
That's
one of the worst intros you've done in a long time. Lord Almighty.
Anyone who's made it through groups to Group K with us as well must be a real avid fan as well. So they probably picked up a few trip-ups along the way as well. So they must be really committed to get through this level. Hooligan, as always, good to see you back into this as we unpack and explore, obviously, all the groups as we get into it. Of course, goes without saying, hooligan-soccer.com is where you can go and find all of the insights, all of the coverage, all of the writers, all about the beautiful game, the beautiful tournament that is happening. And of course, like, follow, subscribe wherever you are consuming this, whether it be on YouTube, streaming service, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Audible, all the other places that we see it getting picked up in the analytics. Hooligan. So let's get into it and chop it up. Group K, Portugal, DRC, Colombia, and Uzbekistan.
Yeah. Really weird group.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow. Like, who's responsible for this?
Well, that's it's certainly true. I agree.
It must have been Wayne Gretzky, because he can't pronounce any of these country names.
That's true, isn't it? Yeah, Uzbekistan, right? He was struggling with that one.
He's there looking at that. He's like, no, I don't even. You threw the ball back in the bin. He's like, I don't want to touch this. I can't be bothered.
Yeah. So we've got two debutants, two first-time attendees, being the DRC, DR Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo.
No, they're not first-timers. They've been in before, 1974, I believe.
They were in 1974, really? Okay,
I believe so. Yeah, I don't think it's their first.
Okay, I double check on that one, but I'm good at that. But one definitely that I do know are debutants is Uzbekistan. This is definitely their first World Cup. They have never.
Do you want to know why you don't? Do you want to know why this isn't the case? Why you think they haven't qualified? Because they were a different country back in 1974.
Right. Exactly.
They were Zaire.
Exactly. There we go. Yes. There we go.
They did qualify as Zaire.
The
1974. Thank you so much.
Okay. There we go. Right. It's wonderful. Thank you for that, sir.
Somebody knows their African history. Somebody does their research. No, just moving on.
Well, of course, we'll challenge you on this as well on the players, and let's see how much research you've done on the DRC. And then, of course, we have Portugal, probably the sort of favorites of this group, world ranked number
you think?
5, I believe. Yeah, they have to be. Yeah, FIFA ranked number 5. Yeah. Also, what will be interesting is, again, assuming he's probably going to go Cristiano Ronaldo, this will be his 6th World Cup that he has attended. And he is the first person ever to score in 5 World Cups, that being the last tournament in 22. So if he does turn up to this one, it will be his 6th. And then, of course, if he scores, it will be another record for him as well. But we will break Ronaldo down and Portugal as well as we get to them. Any other sort of, statistics or insights on this one in terms of breaking down sort of teams or anything like this at the country level here, Hooligan?
Well, you threw me a delicious softball, so I have to say it. This is the oldest roster analysis, again, off of the teams that they called up for the friendlies and have called up in some previous international breaks. This is the oldest group in the tournament, like on average, and by not even a real small group. The average of the rosters is 27.9. Which is very, very old.
That is old.
Which, in a tournament where there's not a lot of youth, right? We've commented on this before, how it seems most of these countries have not been pulling young players into their squads, even during friendlies. This, by far, shows that it's the oldest, and it's all because of that old fuck Ronaldo. All right,
I was going to say, he must be really pulling that average up.
He skews the average so bad because he's 82 years old, right? Yeah. They say he's 41, but he's not. Yeah. He sleeps in a cryo chamber. He drinks the blood of. I'm not going to go there. That's dark. That's dark.
He has a blood boy, does he? Is that?
He has all kinds of very unusual mechanisms to keep himself unnaturally youthful.
Yeah, he does.
Even though he's 87.
Well, and what's interesting is he turns 42 in May, so he'll actually be 42 years of age as well.
Yes, he will.
Pull that average even up. Wow.
And all of a sudden, it's amazing. Now he just turned 89. So it's like, damn, the guy's like, he's remarkable in so many ways. No, But it is that's one of the things that I found to be the most curious of all of the of all the stats was that particular one. Said, wow, okay. Interestingly, though, Portugal is the youngest average team in the whole group, though, because they actually have the audacity to call up players that are under the age of 23.
26, yeah.
Imagine the gall,
Wow.
the nerve.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be spinning in his vampiric coffin where he sleeps.
There are literally some players who half the age of Ronaldo playing for him. Literally half his age will be in that squad, right?
And even younger.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Rodrigo Mora from Porto, he's 18. Ronaldo's kid is older than him. Probably was beaten up on him at Soccer Star School.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll get into it. And then in terms of real true debutants, Uzbekistan,
yes,
ranked number 50.
They are a true debutante. You are correct there. Yeah.
True debutant, never sort of been there before as well. And in terms of average age, they look quite youthful as well, just looking through sort of some of the average ages as well. Not, in fact, you'd probably say lacking experience.
I mean,
no?
not, yeah. I mean, listen, their average age is 28.2. That's not young.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Although they're strikers, they do have quite an experienced forward line by the looking of their roster as well, right?
Yeah. No, it's in fact they only have 4 in the past like 5 games that they've called up. They've called up. There's only 4 players that are 23 or younger, and interestingly enough, one of those players is perhaps the only one that anybody that anybody would know, and that would be Abdulkadir Kuzanov, who plays for
the
Manchester
Man City
City
defender, right? Yep.
And he's 22.
Yeah. Okay.
And by the way, his estimated worth, like in terms of transfer value, is I think 8x higher than the entirety of the other players combined.
His value of him was also they want to.
His value is just orders of magnitude greater than anybody else.
Make sure he doesn't pull his hamstring or anything like that, because that will just crash the potential value of that squad.
Goodness me.
Okay, let's break down some of the players to look out for as well. Should we start with the country formerly known as Zaire, now DRC or DR Congo? Should we break down some of any players that jump out at you here? If you're playing any fantasy teams or sort of doing any betting or anything like that, there is a few interesting names that do jump out at me. But why don't you go first?
Go for it. You start. Because you'll take all the ones. You'd probably take all the ones that I've got anyway, but I don't want to steal.
No. I don't think so. Actually, I'm going to come in with an interesting factoid here as well. I've done some research here on this team.
Oh my God, dazzle me, dazzle me.
I will. So the one name that jumped out at me is a midfielder by the name of Gael Kakuta. You know this guy? Are you familiar with this guy? He's 34 years old.
Yeah, he's 4 years old.
34.
Unbelievable.
24 years old.
Excuse me.
30. Sorry, is it the microphones? Are you okay? 34. Yes. 34 years old. Now, I know this player because he was signed by Chelsea when he was a 16-year-old. Okay? He was signed from a French team. He came up through one of the French academies. I think it was Lens or Lyon, one of the two. I have to research there. But what was interesting about him is because Chelsea signed this player, they ended up getting sanctioned and having a transfer ban put on them for an illegal approach of this player in particular. So now this isn't the first time or probably the last time that Chelsea have broken the rules when it comes to signing players illegally. As we know, I think they've hit with their 3rd round of sanctions or suspended sentences that have just happened. But this player is the reason that Chelsea, for the first time under the Abramovich era, got sanctioned because they regarded him that highly that he was going to be the next wonder kid, that they went above and beyond to go and pluck him out. Unfortunately, he went to Chelsea, went into a squad full of superstars, couldn't break through, ended up having a bunch of loan players and became quite a journeyman. I think some injuries as well hampered his career as well, but didn't quite reach the heights that he was sort of destined to. So that is one interesting player.
And remind me of his name again. Who is it?
Gael, Gael, Gael Kakuta, Kakuta, 34 years old. Yeah. So I think he plays in Greece now. AEL Novi Bet is, I'm just looking at this now that he plays. But anyway, that's one name that jumps out of me. I mean, obviously we'll see when he gets called up. Maybe they do take him. But yeah, that is one player that does jump out of me from the DR Congo as well that I am aware of. And then, of course, I know there's a few other players playing in the Premier League and some of the other sort of big leagues around Europe. So why don't you have a go and break down some of the other players in the DR Congo team?
I hate to break it to you, but he hasn't been called up in a while. Poor guy.
He's there. He's okay.
Because he wasn't called up in the last 4 international friendlies of theirs, as far as I know. But okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, he could be. You never know. Well, the squads, they, as I say, they do surprise. But okay.
But yeah,
anyway.
no, it's but I do like the story. I do think it's fascinating that here's the guy who brought shame and ignominy upon the mighty Chelsea way before Todd Bowley and company have been doing it upon a recurring basis.
Yeah.
But yeah, since we're not talking about Chelsea, we'll just drop that. No, listen, the DR Congo is one of those clubs, they just missed out on qualifying. They're one of those teams that during the African rounds when they were going through, a lot of people thought they were going to make it. Didn't happen. But they're not bereft of talent, even, they're just not bereft of talent. They've got Yohan Wissa. All right. He's perhaps their biggest player and certainly the most valuable. The ex Brentford man now plays for Newcastle. Hasn't done much for Newcastle, but he did get injured in Congo's last qualifying match, and that took him out of the Premier League for quite a long time as he was recovering. But in addition to that, you've got players like Noah Siddiqui, midfielder for Sunderland, wonderful dynamic player, probably in better form than Wissa is right now. And then a defender named Mathieu Apollo, who plays for Standard Liège. He's a goalkeeper, my bad. It's going to be a toss-up whether he gets the start versus they go with the more experienced Lionel Mpasi from Le Havre. But it's going to be one of these two. And then, of course, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, right? Another
former Man United,
Premier League staple, ex-Crystal Palace guy, now plays for
West Ham.
Was it West Ham?
West
he
Ham,
was at Manchester United, and then he's bounced around a lot.
Yeah.
And hopefully, if he recovers, you'll have Axel Tuanzebe as well. He did it. He did it in his tendon, his Achilles, but he might make recovery in time. We don't know.
All right.
And then there's a lot that play in France and Belgium as well.
Yeah. There's a few Scottish players, Scottish leagues as well. A striker as a midfielder as well. Michael Ang Balikwisha plays for Celtic, and then I saw a couple of other as well. Rocky Kiranga plays for Hibs. Hibernian plays for Hibs as well in defense as well. So the level's decent, right? There's other clubs, other sort of teams that have lesser levels like Uzbekistan. You'd expect them in terms of just looking at their pathway and who they're playing, right? They've got Portugal to start with in their opening game, then they've got Colombia, and then they've got Uzbekistan. So, they could, you never know. They could get an upset against Portugal or Colombia.
To be fair, if you're going to do that, you want to get the worst one over. You get Portugal out of the way, right? Yeah. All the nerves are going to be there. All the stuff's going to be there. And if I'm DRC, I'm thinking really that's the one, right? You go in and you lock it down and you hope for a draw. If you can get a draw with Portugal, all of a sudden it becomes a very different qualifying campaign.
Yeah.
Right.
Certainly. Yeah. If you can, and then you can beat one of those other teams, and 4 points should get you through with this group. You should be able to get through with at least 4 points.
Sure.
So that should be part of it, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. So that's DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo. Let's move through to Uzbekistan, ranked number 50 in the world. Wow, that's interesting. Fabio Cannavaro is their coach. World Cup winning Italian defender, who also one of the few defenders in the world who actually won the Ballon d'Or, is the coach of Uzbekistan. I did not know that. Wow, interesting. Okay.
That's and so you can see why Uzbekistan is, right? You can see how they managed to get in there. They didn't get in there through attacking brilliance, as far as I remember. They got in because they're defensively extraordinarily sound, right? Big surprise, big shock. That, and did Uzbekistan? Yeah, they play UEFA. They don't play. I think they're in UEFA, not in AFC. Or are they? Hold on, this is my bad. I should have known this right off the top of my head.
No, I think they're Central Asian. Are they Asia? Yeah.
They're in the Asian Confederation. That's another reason. Again, not to belittle what Uzbekistan accomplished. It's when a country qualifies, it's a great achievement across the board. But yeah, you can see kind of why they did that in the expanded pool of the World Cup, right? In a World Cup past, Uzbekistan wouldn't be there.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
right.
Agreed. Yeah. In terms of just looking at their form, They haven't lost a game since the last time they lost a game was in October of last year against Uruguay, and they lost very narrowly 2-1 to Uruguay. But otherwise, they've beaten Egypt, they beat Iran, admittedly on penalties. They drew with China, they beat Urartu, which okay, fine. They beat Gabon, and then they drew Venezuela. So they don't concede a lot of goals. Hey, they do not concede a lot of goals.
That's right.
Interesting. Could this could be the banana skin surprise?
They could be
of the tournament, right?
They could be, and I think that's when I say this is a weird group, I'm basically referencing the fact that you've got two dark horses in this group, either one of which is capable of punching the more superior Colombian and Portuguese teams in the nose.
Yeah. If they go into this
is. I mean, if you're a fan of rough and tumble underdog soccer, this is your group. And these are your teams, right? Congo and Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan to qualify could be an interesting bet if you are on the betting side. Hey, to scrape through in second place.
Ooh, yeah, I'm not going to make any recommendations on that. Play with your money, toss your money away as you will. Yeah, I would imagine you're probably going to get some pretty favorable odds on either one of these advancing.
Yeah.
And if you're looking to do that, or perhaps even parlay that in with some other interesting stuff, that could be a bold if dangerous move.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So in Uzbekistan, just looking at the pathway and the games that they have, if you can see what's sort of coming up. I mean, first game they've got against Colombia, second game against Portugal, and then that third game against DR Congo. I imagine all those three other countries in this group will be looking at Uzbekistan saying we should pick points up off them. But
absolutely.
Yeah. But it won't be
easy.
They're
going to have to execute.
Yeah.
Because Uzbekistan is going to be tough. They're going to be very, very tough.
Indeed.
Defensively, they're going to be far more resilient than I think Congo will. Congo is going to be more of an open, free-flowing game where there's going to be a lot of like maybe basketball style, long ball and rapid moves. Uzbekistan are going to hold. They're going to and they're going to smack you on the counter.
Yeah. True. Okay. Let's move across then to the more known Colombia in 13th place.
Yeah. You mean they're ranked 13th?
Ranked 13th, forgive me.
Okay,
Ranked 13th, yeah. Who, any of these players are jumping out at you? Of course, everyone knows, we were just discussing James Rodriguez, who plays for Minnesota United as well. He's 34 years of age, was the golden star. He was a young player of the tournament in the 2014 World Cup when it was in Brazil, and he also won the Golden Boot. I think he got to move to Real Madrid from there and then bounced around and won a few things and was a handy player. Luis Diaz, former Liverpool and now Bayern Munich midfielder as well, who's on good form and looking pretty good at 29 years of age. There's that young, actually that's not true, not young, but there's the other Luis Suarez who plays for Colombia, not the Uruguayan ear-biting Luis Suarez.
Sporting's Luis Suarez, yeah.
Colombian Sporting.
Also in great form.
In good form as well, yeah. And Sporting have done well to get through to the quarters of the Champions League, and he was obviously a big sort of part of that. And then any other players from the Colombian side that jump out at you that you think could be sort of worth watching in terms of?
Yeah, Davinson Sanchez from Galatasaray. Two of my own Crystal Palace guys, Daniel Munoz and Jefferson Lerma, in good form. Well, Lerma maybe not so much, but Munoz certainly always dangerous. Jean Arias plays for Palmeiras. He's been bouncing around, but he finally settled there. Yeah, interestingly, Colombia is the oldest team in the tournament. Their average age is over 29.
Wow, experienced. Yeah.
I mean, God, get these guys some walkers, right? And an early dinner time with soft foods, because they're not going to be able to handle it. But no, we speak often of countries having golden generations. And Colombia, I think this is one of their golden generations. Or if not, at least it's a very, very pure silver, right? Lots of great quality and all of them seasoned and sort of all coming together. This is their year. If they do not do it this year, who knows what's going to happen coming down the line. There are only 2 players under the age of 23 on this squad, 3 under the age of 24, and the fourth being Yerson Mosquera, who plays for Wolves. He's going down, but he ain't going to stick with Wolves. He's going to get plucked out, right? Yeah. He was quite the player this year, one of the bright spots on Wolves. So yeah, this is a good chance. They have to advance. If they don't advance, it would be a national scandal.
Yeah, and speaking of nations, the one definite value add that the Colombians will bring is their fans. They are loud, they are
True.
numerous, and they are
Yes.
colorful. And the
They're very
Colombia,
colorful. They do sport that gold, blue, and red with
red,
pride.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. Yeah, they will definitely be a value add, the Colombia fans. So if you're any fan parks in Colombia or playing, get down there and go and appreciate them, because the Colombians will be a lot of fun to hang out with for sure, for sure. Okay, and then moving on to obviously probably favorites of the group, FIFA ranked number 5 in the world. Obviously, everyone knows them. Obviously, we've discussed Ronaldo. I think, we'll come back to Ronaldo in a second, but any other, I mean, just looking through this squad, actually, there's talent everywhere, like, and high level talent playing it. And there's a reason why they're ranked number 5. Like, put Ronaldo to one side just for now. I mean, even you've got, Rafael Leao who plays for AC Milan as well. You've got, Francisco Conceição, this young 23-year-old who plays for Juventus. I like him a lot. And then even in midfield, I mean, look at that midfield. You've got Bruno Fernandes, Bernardo Silva, Vitinha, who is fantastic for PSG. And then you've got João Neves as well. And that's if Pedro Neto or João Paulinho can get in there as well. So that it's Portuguese midfield is good.
To be fair, and of course they're being coached by Roberto Martinez, right? The Spaniard who did wonders for Belgium, right? And has coached, teams into very high positions in the World Cup. So yeah, listen again. If you're a smart betting person, the Colombia and Portugal are going through, and those are my picks. I'm not going to bet against either of those two countries. They're too proud and too talented to not make it through, and I don't think they're going to stumble.
They should be able to do the business. Honestly, now we talk about Roberto Martinez and his management, his skills is going to be really tested for this World Cup, because then you've got the Ronaldo factor. Do you start him? Does he play every game? And because I seem to remember last World Cup, he got dropped by the previous manager. There was one game, I think it was the second game, he got dropped, and there was just a media furore about Ronaldo's been dropped, and he took the balls. And I recall Portugal actually went on and won that game without him. So there was kind of like a marker put down saying, we don't always need you to win. Now, he's an absolute mega star. Does he start? Does Martinez? How does he utilize him, and how does he manage him will be the question, because he has the capacity to really sort of get sort of a bit hot-headed and cause problems inside the camp. So I think that's my read on it. I don't know what your take is, but I think he could be a problem.
If it was up to me, I would have excluded him.
Move on from it.
I get the fact that there are other pressures there, and so you've got him on the roster. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they benched Ronaldo in favor of Ramos, and it wasn't the last World Cup; it was the Euros that they did that. And they put Gonzalo Ramos in, who plays for Paris Saint-Germain. And yeah, he went on as a substitute, and I think scored 2 goals. Or no, it was a hat trick. I think it was a hat trick. Thereby kind of going, there might be a new up front, right? There's a new number 9 in town. Now that said, Ronaldo has done so much for Portuguese soccer. I'm not going to deny that you kind of have to give him the chance to at least get that goal to make that record. I do think he's at least earned that. But I would also say that if I was the coach, I'd be like, listen, you're here. You've earned it. We love you. But if you do any of your bullshit, we're fucking pulling the cord, man. You're done. We're going to yank you. And the one thing that Ronaldo, if he's smart enough, he's going to know that his petulance and his acting out and all of his stuff, he doesn't want to go out as a washout. He wants to go out after scoring.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that the Portuguese players, anytime they enter the box, if they so much as feel somebody breathe on them, they are going to drop to the ground to get a penalty so that Ronaldo can score. And then they pull him off and they're done. They don't have to worry about it anymore.
He's got his record and that's it. Move on. Yeah, just grab that.
Guaranteed Martinez has a bounty on the player that draws the penalty. If a player draws a penalty, there's a little monetary kickback. It's like, thank you so much. Now I can get Ronaldo his goal and we can just bench him and move on.
Wonderful.
Just saying it.
That's fair. All right. Wonderful. Well, Hooligan, just going through here. I mean, in terms of thoughts, you're thinking Portugal qualify and Colombia qualify. That's kind of where yours are. Yeah. Naturally, I think, the numbers would say that. Just watch out for Uzbekistan, managed by Cannavaro. That's looking at them a little bit deeper. There could be something there. It'll all depend on how they do in their opening game. But I would generally agree with you there. Wonderful. Until next time, Hooligan. Speak to you later.
Peace.